My South South, man, you heard?
When people think of Miami, they think of Miami Beach and the sun and the sky. Everybody drives an exotic car and we all live on 12-story condos on the beach. But really, Miami is many cities in between. One of the biggest Cuban cultural influences on food was the ventanita, the little Cuban coffee window, where originally you would just order Cuban coffee and maybe some bites to eat. That means a croqueta, a pastelito de guayaba, fritas, and Cuban sandwiches. In Miami, it's our love language food. There's so much attention on the Cuban sandwich that people don't realize that the most Miami sandwich is the Cuban frita. I love talking with Mercy because she immediately puts a smile on my face. She loves the business. She loves what her dad started there. And she keeps it going at a really high level. Street food is how we remember our immigrant food.
I'm Padma Lakshmi. Come with me as we taste the nation. Holiday edition.
All right, so la ventanita. Necesitamos la coladita.
Okay.
The coffee, yes.
Yes, we'll share them in little thimbles so you don't have to take the full
The full jolt, okay.
And then the pastelito de guava jam inside of a puff pastry.
Yeah, let's get that.
Gracias, Alejandro.
Carlos Frias is a culture and food writer at the Miami Herald. From new school to old school, he knows the ins and outs of the Miami food scene. He's introducing me to one of the most iconic parts of Cuban-American life, the ventanita.
La ventanita means the little window. So the ventanita has become kind of this physical and figurative window to like culture and food in Miami. It's so buttery.
They're so good.
I know.
Do I have anything on my face? Cheers.
Cheers.
It is sweet.
Sweet.
I'm bitter.
Bitter in like a nice way. This is very much a time capsule of Cuban culture, what Cuban food was like pre-revolution.
Nothing brings people together like La Ventanita, the walk-up windows where Miami meets to drink Cuban coffee and swap stories. I'm Carlos Frias, the Miami Herald food editor. In each episode of La Ventanita, we'll talk with some of the world's best chefs to get a window into their lives, while sharing some strong Cuban coffee and delicious traditional Cuban snacks.
The first thing you mentioned was your abuela, el cafecito con la abuela. And somebody told me that she was the one who used to say to you, dale a lot. In other words, dale, muchacho, esto y el otro.
Bueno, dale, I think is for all of us, but yeah, it's used in all of our households. It's either dale, like when you hang up the phone, oye, nos vemos en cualquier lugar. Ah, perfecto, dale, pa. Or dale duro, you know, hit it hard. Or dale que tú puedes, do it because you can. So that's where that became a slogan.
Welcome to Sundial on WLRN. I'm Carlos Frias. Why is America like this? Leonard Pitts Jr. built a reputation by exploring this question over the last 31 years as a syndicated columnist. Ruben Rabasa has been acting for more than 50 years. Then, he got famous overnight. The playwright Nilo Cruz is back in the town where he first found fame. It wasn't on Broadway, wasn't in New York City, but just off Lejeune Road in Coral Gables, where the world first discovered the play that would make Nilo famous. Anna in the Tropics. Welcome, Nilo.
Good afternoon.
Tell us about your dad. I remember reading that he tried to leave Cuba and he spent 2 years in prison, much like my dad was trying to leave Cuba and spent 2 years in prison and 2 years in an agricultural camp. So that really resonated with me. What do you remember about that time?
I was very young. When he came out of prison, I was like 4 or 5 years old. And, you know, I didn't know my father very well, and it took time for me to get to know him. And I was very jealous of him because, you know, he was occupying a place that I had, you know, with my mother.